Hey man,
Hello.
good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Where
How
are
are
you?
you?
Yeah, good man, good. How are you going? Is the important question.
Yeah, no, I'm good. It's been some very busy months, but let's say post-pandemic busy is good, right?
Yes,
So yeah, been extremely hectic. Yeah, but in a good way, with a lot of creative stuff and yeah, good stuff.
that's what we want. That's what. Where are you in your studio at home, just hanging out and telling?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
That's where I'm usually at 98% of the time. Yeah, in this studio.
That's like me. This is where I the man cave. You got to have your
Wait,
yeah.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Well, man, thank you so much for joining us on the show again. It's good to see you, of course. We're pretty stoked that Emperor are coming back to Australia, especially after the last tour sold out like it was nuts. And you're hitting Brisbane this time too. So
Oh,
how are you feeling about coming back, man?
I'm very excited, and I think I speak for all of us. I mean, I've had a great pleasure of being there with my solo band before, and also
Yes.
with Emperor before. So, and we've got to know, the people, the promoters and everything. It's all good vibes, great people, and amazing experiences. I'm sure we'll have just more of that, which is amazing. It's the only downside is a long flight.
Yes. Yeah, it is a very long flight. I feel for anyone that has to come down here to the arse end of the world. Yeah, right down the bottom. But
Yeah, absolutely. But still, I mean, if on the other hand, it's quite crazy that you could go, you know, literally across the globe to the other side of the world, in like in 24 hours. And there on the other side, you have people who also grew up on Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and love this kind of music. So
hey
what's
man,
what's not to like?
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. I was at Knotfest yesterday here in Brisbane, and it was
Mhm.
thousands and thousands and I don't know where these people come from. You know what I mean? Like they come out of the cracks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everyone's like 50,000 people in who insane, insane. So the metals.
That's crazy.
They love the metal down here in Australia, man, and there's a lot of love for Emperor. So it's gonna be awesome.
I'm glad to hear it. We very much look forward to it. I mean, it's yeah, we had amazing times there. So.
That's what it's about, man. And of
And yeah,
course,
love the culture. The laid back, the whole, it's so professional and yeah, everything. And I'm glad it's in May where still temperature is livable for Northerners.
yeah, that's right. Because we had a really brutal summer, dude. But man, I just saw you were just in Japan, right?
Yeah,
That looked insane, dude.
again, yeah, no, that was personally my sixth time there, I think, because I've been there with both bands before.
Mm.
So and this time I had the privilege I bring my kids, sharing the experience with them. So that was awesome. And yeah, that's one of those places where too that you can't believe you get to go there and there are people you connect with and have a relationship to the music and you get to share and experience that. It's yeah, quite humbling.
Are you bringing them down here? You bringing the family down here for an extra Australian experience this time?
I wish, but no, not this time. It's Japan was good,
Bit of a special
good
one.
enough, I think, for a
Yeah.
while. There's school and yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And someday, I'd love to, but they're older guys. I guess it will be easier and easier to kind of bring them along. They're pretty grown up by now, so
Oh man, it's awesome to see. It's awesome to see, and they're musos as well, right? They're getting into it as well.
yeah, yeah. They're only music, yeah, both of them.
You're doing a good job.
Environmental damage, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, half the family is just touring and making records. So like with mom and dad and mother-in-law and Uncle Einar from Leprous, and
Oh yeah,
uh,
man, that's so
yeah.
cool.
So you know Leprous, yeah, yeah. He's my youngest brother-in-law, So we
Did not know that. There you go. Because I know that that's your band as well, like for your solo stuff, right?
back in the day, long time ago. There's it's long ago. We started out like that. So we actually went to Japan together, where they were my support act and as my own band.
Yes,
But
that's right.
yeah, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's why my kids they think that's what people do, like make records and tour.
Hey, man, it's a good gig to have. It's a good life to live. Be creative. That's the way to do it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Of course, you're going to be celebrating in the Nightshade Eclipse on this tour, which turns 30 next year, I believe. Is that right? 30.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Believe
I
it or
think
not.
so. Yeah, because it came
24?
out in '94. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, '94. Yeah,
Man,
it's a long
that's
time ago.
it is a long time ago, but it's still a classic album. Like people love that album. Like I love it. It's incredible to see that generations now are passing that album on as it's a classic album. It's like meat and potatoes, black metal. How's that feel, man?
Yeah, I think it's just as a music fan myself, and of course no one knows at the time, but to have been part of music that people have connected so strongly with,
Mm.
I like, yes, as I said, we were just for the first time in South America this summer, and like I think in Chile we had like 4,500 people just singing along to every word and like to every melody and like singing along to I'm the Black Wizard. It's like it's crazy, that and as music fans, we know how it is, how we connect memories, and that the music we listen to growing up is the soundtrack to our lives, and then it never ages in a sense. And for me to that to see that we have been part of music that people have connected to in a similar way is of course very humbling, and something kind of apart from your person in a sense. It's more of a coincidence, really.
And it's an amazing thing. Of course, musically, you personally have evolved in all different directions over the years, which has been exciting to watch your career and as a fan, how's it been revisiting this earlier material compared to say your solo stuff and where you've evolved musically? Where do you see, like, obviously there's the threads, you know.
Yeah, there's I mean, for me, I think for people listen to my music, I think there's a much bigger gap between the early Emperor stuff and my stuff now. To me, it's always been a continuation, in a sense. So to me, it's not that different because it's created from the same core place,
Yes.
in a way. The core atmosphere that I create from, is still the same. And it's, I guess, the state of mind is something that I've really also made an effort to maintain, like, because I think people forget that we at 16 we had an opportunity. We were into music that was, of course, black metal was not a thing,
Mm.
in 1991. It was just a little group of people in who gathered around Uranus's shop in Oslo, in a sense. But and from there, and we were, you know, at 16 already trying to push the envelope of where we could push music. How could we make it more extreme? How could we make this even more epic and orchestral? With it, we didn't have any experience, we didn't have any resources or knowledge, which is like a really, really strong will to put ourselves, one leg into the unknown, if you will. That's that's why how that came about, and for no commercial,
Yeah.
motivations or whatever, because it was nothing. It was just like purely from a personal will to push the borders of your musical output, in a sense. and I see, and people often ask me like, "Oh, how come you yourself or like Garm from Ulver, do all this experimental stuff?" And like, from my perspective, why didn't so many more teenagers from the early black metal days, why did they stop pushing?
Yes.
you know, so for me, it's totally the other way around. So and visiting it as you to get back to your point is, um, was something that I was a bit worried about when we started playing shows again, because obviously I was in a totally different place, as a grown up, not
Yes.
necessarily just on the musical side, but like, can I connect to, teenager stuff in a sense? But then uh, we lived it so thoroughly at a time, so it's so embedded in, your spine. So it's really just to start a song and you're there in a sense. And even though it's, as I said, it's not always that fun to rehearse I'm the Black Wizards, but it's never boring to perform live,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
as I said, again, then you have all these other people who have their own memories and their own attachments to those melodies and those riffs, and the kind of the energy and the combination of all that in the one room is pretty, a thing of its own. Yeah.
And of course,
It's just like really, really pleasurable. And yeah, to finalize that thought, it's really easy to connect with the songs in the same way as you reconnect with Master of Puppets or something, and you get and you feel the smells and stuff from where you were
oh,
when you listen to it.
absolutely, absolutely. I was talking to someone about that the other day. You can hear a song and it's like the whole environment changes. You can,
Yeah.
it's weird. Like, yeah, you can, like you said, you can smell that. Yeah,
Mm.
it's incredible how it unlocks that in your brain,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, music. I think this is there's been done research on that. Like, and I think that's why they use that in, I think also therapy for like Alzheimer's, or
Yeah,
I don't know about them, but it just in general, it does something. Music does something in the brain that connects a lot of stuff, which is probably why it the art form that most people connect, you know, most deeply emotionally with. I
yeah,
think because it's so abstract and open for interpretation. It doesn't tell you what to think or what you feel in that concretely. So you kind of, yeah, it's an art form that you can very easily make your own in a sense.
and so it's timestamps as well. Like this for instance. Last time we spoke, we had a chat about this 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 little thing here. It was
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
very, very important album to me. It came to me
Oh, thank you.
at a very important time in my life. And it's like, as we were just saying, those timestamps in your life. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It can take me back and it helped me through some stuff, man. So thank you. But
Oh, I
but
appreciate that.
you
I
know,
take no credit personally, it's just as an observation too. I've had some really touching moments also on tour, like people who have been in some really bad places and in a very borderline type of place,
yeah,
and for some reason they found some kind of meaning in music that I did that made them turn in a very good direction compared to where it could have ended. And they tell me these stories, and as I always said, like, remember, you did those decisions, but if any of my stuff had any part in that, as a consequence, nothing makes me happier. That's my take on it. So if yeah, I know how. So I have some music like that myself.
yeah. Hey, and it's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing, man. And I know Emperor fans feel the same way. I know a lot of Emperor fans that are just, it's just your music's touched so many people. And how, but I guess the next question is, how has your own influences changed from when you were that young and writing that pushing the envelope? Because as music has changed for yourself now. And what about the other boys? Do you discuss like how your own musical tastes have changed from when you were writing that stuff and how you put that into what you're playing now with Emperor?
We don't really discuss it that much. I think I don't know. The other guys are. I think I'm. in general has always been more nerdy on the, on the musical stuff. And I mean, I think the musical taste within the band has always been quite diverse.
Yes.
But I guess I've just gone a little bit further, and I can, get consumed in, some theoretical musical stuff that, yeah, recently I've been I'm totally self-taught and all that. I don't have any, like, so it's not like any fancy education or complicated stuff. It's just like listening to maybe some kind of underground-ish soundtrack or whatever, and it's like, oh, wow, these chords, why does it sound like that? This is a like tonal color I haven't heard before, and then I will research it and find like, oh yeah, this like octonic or chromatic medians, or yeah. So it's yeah, I guess I've always had a wide taste in music, but I guess it's been, one thing connects to the next. Kind of like with metal, we all started out with Twisted Sister or Iron Maiden and Judas Priest, and then wow, there's something, there's thrash metal, there's Metallica. This hits harder. It doesn't follow the same forms, This is not your chorus, pre-chorus, verse kind of thing. It's something different. And then there's Battery and
Yeah.
Morbid Angel. There's more here. Then you go on that journey, and like I told you with the way it was very much in parallel how we wanted to push the music that we created. In the same time we wanted to push the influences of what we were hearing. You always wanted something that inspired that. So I guess, and that's, I think, if you first get into that, it's a lifelong journey.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know you get asked probably all the time about, you guys ever going to record another album? And, but I guess, does that pressure, would that take away the fun of you guys playing together? If you guys went to work on a new Emperor album, would that sort of take away from, you guys just jamming and enjoying each other's company and playing the songs live? Or is that something that it is something that you have discussed?
It's something that, of course, we're constantly asked.
Yes.
If I
And I'm sorry.
if I had a dime, everybody would ask that. I would probably be a wealthy man. But no, but honestly, I think, yeah, we've this me and Samus have discussed it at different side points. Especially since we've been doing these live things occasionally, and now more, I guess, more permanently in the end. But the discussion is really quite open, and I guess and I've talked about that in interviews as well. That if it were to be, what kind of Emperor album should it be? Should it be something that fans would want, as in like something that maybe sounded like the early records, which would be, in practice kind of easy for us to do, but still it wouldn't really have the authenticity, because it would be from, trying to recreate something that you did when you were teenagers,
Yeah.
and it would almost be like the opposite of the motivation of all we did. If we were turning everything on its head and started creating music for the sake of pleasing some market or making money or any of that, it would kind of make everything that we did into a lie. If
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
And if we were to continue where we dropped that, there's I ended up recording and writing the entire last Emperor album on my own, in a far more experimental direction, and that's kind of where I just disappeared into to what I do. And should we pick up from that point, and then there wouldn't really be a point if it was not a band effort. It was just me, pushing, in my direction. So it's so basically, like I said, with live shows, after every kind of anniversary thing that we did, it will never happen again. So at this point, I'm old enough to see that I can't say that will never happen, because yeah, I've seen it happen with live shows that I never thought that we would do either. But it would have to be at a point where we would get together, where the vision for what it could be,
Mm.
where that in some way aligned, that we could create from the same uncompromising sp space. And I would say, without for a second dealing with what people might expect, but like purely creating from that same uh, state of mind, as we were back then. I think that would be the only way to properly do something that would be worthwhile for us to do, and down the line for fans to experience too. I think if we started making records for those kind of black metal reasons, I think that would be it wouldn't be enjoyable for either us or anyone else.
Yeah, it'd have to come from
If that
natural
is
place,
it,
right? Like a natural progression.
totally.
Yeah, whenever that.
Yes, and also from it would have to come from creative place and not a practical, this could be smart, this could be none of that. Then it would be futile. And I think everybody like you and me who are drawn to this style of music, we're drawn to it because it feels uncompromised. It feels like something real. It's not like McDonald's who make oh yeah, if we tame it a bit here, if we tame it a bit here, if we make it a bit more bland, if we make it more uh, commercial here, we could sell more records. That kind of we are drawn to this music because we just want the pure experience.
Yes.
Like
Same.
it's like a single malt. It's not a milkshake.
It's good. Yeah, it's not black metal. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, black metal should be like exclusive chocolate. Like very very dark and slightly bitter.
Yeah, love that. Good. It's good. Of course. Was it last year you guys released the Fire and Demise box set with the cassettes? Was that last year?
Oh yeah, that's true. The cassette box set. That's true. Yeah,
Yeah. Is there a vinyl one on
I
the
think I have some of those. No, I think we already did that huge box set. I think it's amongst the biggest box sets ever done, but like with 24 vinyls or what have you. So
Yeah.
of course Kiss has the biggest one, obviously, but but I think it's close. It's up there. And yeah, and there was a license for doing that on cassette. So yeah, there's always these kind of new formats and kind of collections that different people have ideas, and it's really Samuel who should take all the credit for making stuff like that happen. He really keeps the best archives of everything and old pictures and curious stuff. I'm a mess with those stuff. I'm not nostalgic about anything like that. But luckily he keeps a good record of things and managed to compile together things that hopefully is of interest and of enjoyment for people. I'm unfortunately my head is always consumed in the next project.
Does he ever send you pictures of like, hey man, guess what I found in a box? And it's some random like photo of you guys somewhere, or
It's sometimes, and that's kind of nice, like some like somebody an old photo from our tour back, in '93, comes up, with some people being drunk somewhere, it's in some crappy club or whatever, or just a lot of stuff that just me and Samuel's, doing fire breathing at the beach or something at night, stuff like that.
but that's amazing stuff. That's so cool. Like
We did a lot of that. Yeah, yeah. Just go out at night, bring 3 liters of lamp oil and just like blow flames on everything.
things you do when you're kids. um,
Yeah, the stuff you do when you grow up, the typical stuff.
yeah, when you grow a beard, it becomes a bit more dangerous. So that's
Yeah, I had a bad experience with that. Actually, on that UK tour we did with the Cradle of Filth in '93, where I burnt half my face off. So
I didn't know about that.
so I stopped. No, no, no. because we were doing all the fire breathing back home, and it was
Yeah.
like with lamp oil. And we got over to the UK and thought, okay, we'll do some fire breathing on stage. And but there was a different lamp oil in the UK. It had a different color, so we saw that it had some kind of poison in it. Like we don't want to do that. And then someone says to me, like Abbas from Immortal, he uses Zippo-lighter gas. He thought, and I said, I'll try that then.
Oh
And of course,
man.
that is a very bad idea to put Zippo-lighter gas in your mouth. And yeah, of course, it ended in tragedy. So that was the end of my fire breathing career, and I'm glad it was.
You're glad it's done. Yeah. But mate, you've been teasing a new project as well. I saw that you said something 3 years in the making, something you were teasing. What's that about?
What
I saw a picture on
in the making?
Yeah, what's it? You got something cooking up, right? There's something, a project you're
Oh
working
yeah, yeah,
on. What's that?
yeah. It's a new album, or it's kind of more than that too. So it's like the most ambitious project I've ever done. It's very proud of it, and I can't believe I pulled it off. But because I was so way in over my head with this, but I'm very excited about that. Yeah, I'm very very proud. But it's still a while away from the public.
Okay.
But
I'm excited, dude.
I'm super. Yeah. Honestly, on the subjective levels, from the initial idea to where it ended up, I would say this is. I would say for sure this is my biggest musical achievement. Whether that on a commercial level of how people connect with it, it's kind of yeah. I don't care because I've achieved so much more than I could have ever hoped for in with this one. I'm very proud.
Wow. I just want to I want to hear it, man. I want to hear exactly what's going on because it's got to be good. Like, well, nah, because I also want it to be a surprise. I won't go fishing. I won't go fishing on you.
Yeah, but no, everybody says that, of course, about the latest stuff. But I've been doing a lot. But I mean, I really set out to do something to push myself, far beyond what I did before.
Yeah.
And maybe it might not be that obvious in the end product. Who might to know what people experience. But just on a totally subjective, personal level. I've never felt so good about an entirety of a body of work ever. This is in my own in my own book. This is the best I've ever done. Honestly, I really went far.
See, but for I don't know how you are with it because musicians can be quite critical of their own work. You know what I mean? And then to get to that point, to that spot where you're like, this is it. This is what I've been trying to aim at. It's got to be pretty special. So I'm gonna absolutely take
it's really special, and yeah, no, and also it's like listening back to some of it, and like I can hardly believe I wrote it. It's I know this is a really pretentious thing to say, of course, and
no.
I'm probably selling it, but it's yeah, it's a really good feeling because as I say, most of the time it's like a total imposter syndrome for everything.
Yes, I know, dude. I know, I know that very well. Well, and then people go, oh, "That's amazing." You go, you hear that one little note or that one little, you go, "Ah, it could have been."
Mm.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst. I know, but man, I maybe when you're in Brisbane, I might have to bug you for a little bit of a sneak peek or something. Hey, but
Oh, who knows? Who knows?
who
I'll
knows?
have to keep it's label stuff. But I'm very excited to
Yeah,
it's not all done yet. It's
okay.
not all done yet, and you know how it is with the way things need to build it. So it will be a while yet before it's out there. And yes, there's still some work to be done to see it through. But I've come to that point where I can, I can see the end of the road.
That's awesome.
It's been a big project. Yeah.
And what about you doing guitar clinics and stuff too now as well, right? Like I saw you doing.
Well, very, very rarely. I've only done a handful in my life. So some kind of guest lecture at some music education stuff or something like that. I think it's fun to do occasionally because I'm a nerd about these things,
Yes.
So I do a lot of press, but every time I get to talk about gear and music, it's that's kind of my element, if you will.
Yeah, man. Oh, I'd love
So,
to see that down here. I'd love to see one of those down here. You reckon one day you'd
oh
come
yeah,
down?
yeah. I'm not sure. I don't. I'm sure they would have asked me if that was something they wanted to do. So,
Come on, people. Come on. Throw him some dollars. Let's make it happen because that'd be pretty amazing to see. Pick your brain about all
yeah,
the time.
I'm not sure. I mean, I never thought that I could do it because of the stuff that I grew up on with watching Ing Malmsteen or John Petrucci and all these amazing guitar players and everything. I thought that I can't do guitar, I can't do clinics. It's like I wrote this column for Guitar World.
Yeah.
I was like, what am I going to write about you? I was flipping the pages. I saw my picture and my humble stupid stuff, and then you have like Marty Friedman and Slash, on the next page, giving lessons. Who would care? But I guess outside these things, I never make them about technique or anything. It's just like more my perspective on how to approach, writing, and maybe very much the taking inspiration from Judas Priest and Iron Maiden with the twin guitars,
Yeah.
developing that, utilizing the ranges of the instruments and playing on contrast, stuff like that.
It's you've got a unique way of playing as well. And that's why I think people love hearing you talk about it, because you
Yeah,
sound like
I'm not sure if there's anything. Yeah, yeah, okay, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. Probably because I've just done it a lot in my way, I guess.
yeah.
But then again, there's nothing extraordinary about what I play because I'm not a really technical player. But I guess I just developed some kind of peculiarity to how I voice things and how I put stuff together. But for me, uh, anything instrumentation or playing instruments and stuff has always just been a means to uh, get it to a level where I can actually do the stuff that the song needs.
And it's incredible. We love what you do, brother. But of course, this Emperor tour is just going to blow everyone's minds down here. But what's next? What's next? You got this album you're working on. You got Guitar Clinic, this Emperor tour. What else is on the plans for the future for you and the other boys?
Well, we have a lot of gigs, post pandemic stuff. Everybody's out now, so and we were just in Japan and I think we're going back to South America. We announced a US tour, and yeah, doing a lot of stuff. The rest of the year really, and I'm finishing up this project, and hopefully next. I'm sure there will be more Emperor gigs like next year, but I'm kind of taking a break more or less from my solo shows
Mm.
this year to be able to really cope with everything, and then hopefully to come back, backing new material in 2024 with the touring more again, getting the solo band back together and do some more touring on that part. So and yeah, during the pandemic, I got to dip my toe in the production, for produced with Matt from Trivium,
Yeah, that's all.
the
That album.
his Ibaraki album, and that led to me doing orchestration for the whole new Trivium album. So and I've done some remixes, for like the Halo effect, the X in Flames and
Yeah,
guys, yeah,
it's a good one.
so bits and pieces like that. So yeah, I get to do a lot of, and that's kind of been refreshing to do, um, something that is not so also self-centered, if you will, just to use some of these experience, the experience that I have to put it into context with someone else. That's we'll see what it brings. But so far, it's not like I have uh, you know uh, free time issues.
Yeah. You're a busy dude. But man, hey, I really appreciate you.
I'm actually off to I'm already late for an Emperor rehearsal as it
Oh,
is.
dude, I'm so sorry. It's always a pleasure talking
No,
to you, my man. It's always really cool. And
likewise, likewise.
up, dude. And I'll be seeing you in Brisbane. It's going to be incredible. We'll have all the links down here, people, to the Emperor tour. Mate, until then, take care. Say hello to the rest of the boys and have a good
I
day.
will. Thank you so much. Thanks for the support. I'll see you in May.
Yeah, bro. See ya.
Take care.